When I was 17, I was in a foster care system in Oakland. I stayed with a family in an average San Francisco-style two-story home with wooden floors. One night, I had to use the bathroom. To put it in perspective, the bathroom was right in front of the stairs, on the first floor. Once I finished, I started to make my way upstairs. I saw what looked like a lady's long white gown. I thought it must be my foster mom or sister, so I asked if they wanted me to leave the light on in the restroom. They didn't respond, but instead they turned around and walked out of view down the hallway. At the time, I was more convinced that it was my sister because she had a history of sleepwalking, though I still peeked in my parents' room. They were both sound asleep. Then I made my way back, quietly, to me and my sister's room. My sister, like my parents, was out like a light, wearing a Raiders t-shirt. I was in complete shock and quickly ran to the door and shut it. I thought back and realized I never heard a single sound when the figure in the dress moved down the hallway. Even more freaked out, I hid under my blanket for the rest of the night, like a scared, helpless little girl. So, my parents bought a house in the middle of nowhere. What we didn't know at the time was that the original owner took his life in the garage of the place. After the incident, a man later bought the house and rented it out to his friend. Soon after, though, the friend would die mysteriously in the house. The man would go on to sell the house to my family. However, he died 2 weeks later. Before moving in, though, my parents befriended a local couple. This is a couple that told them how everyone who came in contact with the house died. My mom thought the place was haunted and insisted on having a smudge ritual done on the house. My dad didn't believe in that kind of stuff, disregarded the idea, but let her do it anyway. A few months would go by, but my dad would share a similar fate in that house. My mom, heartbroken and depressed, wanting nothing to do with that house, sold it to a younger couple. I just hope they don't end up like the rest. My newly married husband and I were looking for an apartment in Long Beach, California. In our search, we came upon a well-paved road, which led to a converted home. There were multiple native trees surrounding the plot. The yard with the trees fit the area so well, you could say it was too good to be true. We pulled down the driveway, and the landlord greeted us. She offered to show us around, and we agreed, because why not? The home was in a great location, offering a beautiful atmosphere. The apartment was on the second floor, so we started up the stairs. With each step I took, though, an uneasy feeling kept crashing deeper and deeper into me. I don't know why, but I momentarily closed my eyes. When I opened them, I saw blood smeared all across the walls. I closed my eyes again, but this time, when I opened them, it was all gone. At the end of the tour, my husband took me aside and told me he didn't like the apartment, and we should just keep looking. After a whole day of looking, me and my husband go out for coffee and talk about the places. Eventually the conversation led to the apartment inside the house. He said similar things about how the house was great on the outside. I asked what he didn't like about it. He told me if I told you, you'd think I'm crazy. I laughed and said I wouldn't. He then proceeded to tell me that when we were going up the stairs, He was getting a weird, creepy feeling, as if something had happened there. I was amazed at all he said. I told him about my experience. We just looked at each other for a few seconds. We no doubt made the right decision.